Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I've been trying to fight to get things right. I just couldn't get Rumble to take, but now I finally got it to take. Wow. I saw the whole 2 hour Putin interview, Tucker Carlson, Vladimir Putin interview. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was a good interview. I'm going to play some pieces from it tonight, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I want to be able to play it because this Joe Biden interview is just downright dastardly. This Joe Biden with classified documents, they was talking about the 25th Amendment with President Trump. How are they not talking about this with Joe Biden? Joe Biden, right now, there's no way this man can stay in office. This is horrible. Hello, everybody. Hello. Yeah, I got to cut the phone lines open tonight. Phone lines will be open. When I tell you, do not call in before I say call in. I'm telling you right now, do not call in until I say call in. If I see you up here, I'm not even going to answer your call. Yeah, I'm serious. Do not call in until I say, hey, go on and call in. This is downright horrible. This is They didn't charge Joe Biden with the crime, but they sunk. If you are listening or talking to a Democrat, I don't care if that Democrat is the largest Joe Biden supporter it is. Now it comes to the point to where you have absolutely no excuse to where you can't stand up stronger and say Joe Biden gotta go. If you are a Republican, or heck, you might not even like Joe Biden, there is no way. No way. Hello, Miss Barbara Kirkendall. How are you doing, Miss Barbara Kirkendall? There is no way, absolutely no way you can't stand on your feet and say how horrible Joe Biden is. Today was an absolute gift. An absolute gift. This man looks horrible. The Department of Justice have came out and said no one in their right mind would charge this man with anything because he's elderly, old, and frail. He can't even remember his son. His son death. This was, I'm sorry, but he should have got charged. If I was him, I'd be mad and say y'all should have charged me because there is just no way possible. Someone looking at this should say this man cannot run. This man cannot run for office. No. This man cannot run for office. No, he cannot. The Democrat Party is about to take him down. I do believe the Democrat Party, now they got what they needed. They've been waiting for something like this so they can do just that. He is unfit for office. He is unfit for office. If I was Donald Trump, I would just go in the basement, hold rallies, and that's it. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. I don't know how. I'll be honest. I think Merrick Garland is about to lose his job. He got to. Joe Biden unfit. Unfit. Oh, yes, Joe Biden. Everything they said about President Trump has came back to bite them in the hind part with Joe Biden. Elderly. With poor memory. Wow, this gets no better than this. I was going to talk about that smackdown the Supreme Court did. The Supreme Court did to Colorado. One person said Donald Trump has not been convicted of insurrection. One Supreme Court justice said that. The rest of them just utterly destroyed him. The rest of them was like, hey, this don't sound right. This isn't good. This isn't what they kept constantly saying how horrible he was. That's just, y'all, if you saw what was going on in the Supreme Court, hey, Stack, all day, Shane, Terry, Hurley, McAdams, Archangel. Yes, he was unfit to begin with, but we didn't know it was like, in our wildest dreams, we didn't know it was like this. Y'all, I was going to bore you to death tonight. I was going to bore you to death. I was going to play, well, I'll be honest. That interview with Vladimir Putin was good. Tucker Carlson asked him about certain things, and Vladimir Putin told him straight up, yeah, I know the CIA did a coup. And Vladimir Putin said, well, that's what they supposed to do. Vladimir Putin told Tucker Carlson, just getting y'all some of it, well, that's the CIA. I was KGB, that's what y'all do. Y'all destroy, try to take down governments. So that was good. Then hearing the Supreme Court justices tonight. This morning. I was listening to the whole thing. Ketanji Jackson was sounding reasonable. She was questioning the Colorado person and said, this don't make sense. This was just downright horrible. If you know somebody right now that's a Joe Biden fan that's telling you, we can't have Donald Trump, If we have Donald Trump, we'll lose our democracy. Joe Biden can't even spell democracy. Somebody said we're winning the caucus. Nikki Haley gonna be crying about it. Oh, everybody's talking about how Charles Payne destroyed Nikki Haley. Y'all,
being recommended. Let's get to David Spunt. He's live for us at the Justice Department with the breaking information on this. David.
Hey, Trace, you could call it a busy day in Washington, D.C. We got this report, 345 pages, and while there are no charges, it is still damning for not only President Biden, but his administration. I want to read some very important passages. First of all, let's put up the fact that we have photographs that show Biden's garage, the president's garage at his Wilmington, Delaware home, with boxes, tattered, ripped, torn boxes containing classified documents. You remember he told our Peter Doocy that he kept them in his garage. It's not like they were out on the street, something along those lines. So we know that a lot of these documents had to do with Afghanistan and his opposition to his boss, then President Obama's decision to send a troop surge to Afghanistan. Biden was always against that, so he kept a lot of classified documents related to Afghanistan. I want to read this. It says, quote, "We have also considered that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Based on our direct interactions with and observations of him, he's someone from whom many jurors will want to identify reasonable doubt. It would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him by then identify reasonable doubt. It would be an elderly man with a poor memory. Based on sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Him as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Based on our direct interactions with and observations of him, he's someone from whom many jurors will want to identify reasonable doubt. It would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him, by then a former president well into his 80s, of a serious felony that requires a mental state of willfulness." This is directly from page 6 of the report, but as I noted with John and Sandra just about 8 minutes ago or so, they're assuming that President Biden either wouldn't run for another term or wouldn't win in November, because this would not take another 4 years if he wins to go to trial and get a conviction. So we see picture after picture of documents that are in his garage. Some of the other key passages, it says there is no evidence that Mr. Biden shared classified information with any foreign person. In January 2017, after the end of his vice presidency, Mr. Biden found classified documents at his Virginia home and returned them. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Critical of him, no question, saying that he did willfully take classified documents, but did return them once he thought it was appropriate to return them. And over, as we see right there in those pictures, that's that box I'm talking about with the Afghanistan documents in his garage in Wilmington, Delaware. And this all comes at the same time the former president is facing trial in Florida for taking classified documents, but legal analysts, and I'm not a legal analyst, will say that it may be a little bit different because Donald Trump was issued a subpoena to turn those over. Biden was not. But after all, this is not good news for the White House here when they're trying to get away from this. And here we go with picture after picture after picture. 345 pages total for this report, Trace.
Yeah, and some of the text is also not very complimentary. David Spunt, we'll let you get looking more at that thing. We'll get back to you as the news breaks.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee Meck.
This is not good. This is not good. He got angry. Y'all, this is not good. I don't even think, honestly, I don't think if I open up the line I won't be able to finish the show. This is worse than what we thought. This is absolutely worse than what we thought. I mean, it's all over the world now. It's all over the world that he's... Wow. Yeah, this is all over the world. There is no way no leader can actually sit here and say Joe Biden is good for America. Joe Biden is not good for America. Joe Biden on the world stage has showed us to be elderly, confused. He make America look like a bunch of rubes. This is embarrassing.
Well, look, the fact he won't face charges is in and of itself an issue.
This hour, because the US President Joe Biden has been described as, quote, a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory, and that he couldn't remember when he was vice president. That was said by the US Special Counsel investigating the mishandling of classified documents. And our Washington correspondent Annalise Nielsen is across all the detail. Annalise, hello again. He won't face charges, but that is quite an attack on the president's mental health.
Well, look, the fact he won't face charges is in and of itself an issue with his mental health. Essentially, what this investigation has found is that Joe Biden did willfully retain documents. This report has a few photos that we can show you now of where these were retained. But the issue with going forward is that they would have an issue prosecuting him in court, theoretically, and upholding that evidence because his memory is so bad. So this is an absolutely damning report. This is not from a political foe. This is an independent look into this case, this issue with classified documents that we know Donald Trump has had as well. But this has said that the main issue in all this is Joe Biden's memory. So we'll read you an excerpt of what this report has said. In part, it's a very lengthy report, but it said Mr. Biden's memory also appeared to have significant limitations both at the time he spoke to Zwanitzer in 2017 as evidenced by their recorded conversations and today as evidenced by his recorded interview with our office. Mr. Biden's recorded conversations with Zwanitzer from 2017 are often painfully slow, with Mr. Biden struggling to remember events and straining at times to read and relay his own notebook entries. In his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the first day of the interview when his term ended, quote, if it was 2013, when did I stop being vice president? And forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began, quote, in 2009, am I still vice president? He did not remember even within several years when his son Beau died, and his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate that was once so important to him. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference of opinion with General Carl Eikenberry, when in fact Eikenberry was an ally whom Mr. Biden cited approvingly in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. In a case where the government must prove that Mr. Biden had possession of the classified documents after the vice presidency and chose to keep those documents, knowing he was violating the law, we expect that at trial his attorneys would emphasize these limitations in his recall. The other issue here, of course, is that these interviews were done in the days after the October 7 attack in Israel, raising the question of whether his memory issues are currently impacting anything he does in his office. And this has already been seized on by Team Trump. As you can imagine, his campaign has put out a quote through their communications director for MAGA Inc. saying, if you're too senile to stand trial, then you're too senile to be president. Joe Biden is unfit to lead this nation.
Phone lines are open. Let her rip. Let her rip. Let her rip. Let her rip. Phone lines open. Phone lines open. Let her rip. I'm trying to get through the show, but no. No, phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. If you want to call in, you can. Okay. A minute, 30 seconds is what you got. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Look, don't call in here talking about Tucker Carlson interview. I'm going to try to get to it. Like I said, I'm going to try to get to the Tucker Carlson interview. Phone lines are open. Oh my God. What in the world do we got here? What in the world do we got here? Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. If you were saying, Jamal, I don't know the phone number, look on the screen. Look on the screen. Please look on the screen. The phone lines are open. Y'all, this man is a danger. Impeach him. The Democrat Party wants to hold on to power so much that they're willing to stick this senile old man out here. This is bad. And I'm going to show y'all a picture. I'm going to show y'all this picture. Vladimir Putin looks like a tiger that's about to eat his prey. This is Joe Biden right before Vladimir Putin launched his attack in the. Look how he looking. Like Joe Biden looking like a senile old man. Please, people, do not allow me to miss any. If you can, please, 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 like last night, everybody help me not miss super chats. I don't want to miss super chats. When people do super chats, oh, let me say this real quick because I missed this last night. I did miss this last night, so I want to thank Miss Pixie Drinks, Miss Elizabeth, Miss Pixie Drink. Thank you for your kindness and generosity and donation to the page through Cash Out. Miss Pixie, I do apologize for missing you last night, missing your donation to the page. Please forgive me. Everyone, this man, if we can't get him back in office. Who won Nevada? I kind of think with tonight's interview is obvious. Let's see who won Nevada. Fox News. Let's see who won Nevada. Biden slam special counsel. I don't see it. I don't see they came up with it yet. I'm looking. It says, okay, IR. Thank you, Shane. Shane just text me. Make sure I got IR on Rumble. Shane just text me. He says IR on Rumble. I don't see it. Where is it at? Where's it at? Where's it at, Shane? He says super chat on Rumble by IRS. I don't see it. On Rumble? Hey Tish, how you do? Well, hey Tish, how you doing tonight? Hopefully you having a wonderful night, Tish. Tell Minister Jay good night. How's he doing? Oh wow. YouTube. Thanks, Shane. Okay, where's she at? Where is it at on YouTube? Thank you, Miss Iris, for your kindness and generosity and donation to the page. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss IRS. Thank you for your kindness and generosity. Donation to the page through PayPal. Excuse me, through Super Chat on YouTube. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. You know what? They're saying Michelle Obama would beat President Trump in a landslide. That's what they're trying to put out. They're trying to say that. Well, hold up. Let's get Bruce Bernard. Bruce Bernard. Hello, Bruce. How you doing tonight? Hey, I can't hear you real good. You're going to have to speak up clear. Say that again.
Hey, brother, I am outstanding. How about you?
I'm doing good. Well, if Joe Biden's DOJ is saying he is unfit to be president.
Well, they're just telling us everything we've known, for 3 years. So that's the surprise.
And nobody can cover it up. They can't cover it up now. They cannot cover it up. They can't.
Yeah, not this time. You can't cover it up. And the problem is, the thing that all of us know about, if they get him out of office before his time, Clamshell Harris is going to be moving in. And that's just going to scare the bejeebers out of a lot of us.
Here is my thing. Here is my thing. I think, honestly, they want Michelle Obama, but she don't want to run because Gavin Newsom got destroyed by Ron DeSantis. So they don't want to put Gavin Newsom up against Trump. So they want to hold on. I know y'all, they want to put somebody up so they can hold power. Thank you, Miss Kimberly Ashcroft. Miss Kimberly Ashcroft sent me a super chat. Thank you for your kindness and generosity. Hold on for 1 second, Bruce. Miss Kimberly Ashcroft says Biden is senile and dangerous, but he's been that way. Look what's really happening. Democrat suddenly pearl clutching in order to replace Biden with someone else just in time for the March surprise. You know what? And I'll give you the last 30 seconds, Bruce. Miss Kimberly, I think everybody sees that and they know he has to transfer. So my thing is this. If they pull an October surprise on us, a March surprise on us, what is our response? Especially if it's Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
So last 30 seconds is yours, Bruce.
All right. I want to say something. We super chat also. That's awesome. But I'd like to say, since you and I both are retired military folks, I want to take time to just get prayers out to all the 5 Marines who were lost at sea in that hurricane off the cross. yesterday evening and today. And salute them, because brother, you don't know, it could have been any of us at any time. So that's what I just wanted to pass on.
All right. Well, thank you, Bruce. Thank you for the call.
Hey, Jamal, when are we going to get the Hillary doll and Pelosi?
All right. Thank you, Bruce. Eddie, can you hear me? Eddie, can you hear me? Bruce,
yes, I
awesome
can,
call.
sir.
All right.
So let me get this straight. Well, let me see if I understand this. He's unfit to stand trial, but he's fit to run the freaking country.
Yep.
You've got to be kidding me.
That's
exactly
what they saying.
It's like they got him into office. He had his marbles. He had enough of his marbles to get into office because they cheated. We all know that.
Yes.
And then, like a week later, he just went completely batshit crazy. Sorry, didn't mean to curse, but oh my God, I figured he was bad, but not as bad as Dave was saying.
Oh my God, he's horrible.
I was sitting at work. I was watching like the WrestleMania press conference, and then my phone started going off, and I'm like, "Why is the president on?" So I'm listening, and I'm like, "What the hell happened?" I was unbelievable.
And you know what? An American Dejan says this, which is absolutely true. American Dejan. Democrats will run their people into the ground until they die, as long as if they're willing to do what they say. You know why I think they're not going to replace Joe Biden? Because Joe Biden is giving them everything they want. And American Dejan, this is so true. A lot of people forgot when Dianne Feinstein, they was willing her in. All they did was point and said, vote for this, vote for that. So if they was willing to do that for her, you still got the most powerful man in the world. They're about to do that for him.
I'm more worried about what our enemies are going to do now.
The State Department.
Has anybody even thought about that?
You know what? I don't think they're going to be talking to him. He's going to be talking to him much. I don't.
No,
I don't think he's going
I'm
to
worried
be talking
that they're
to him
going to
much.
take advantage of the fact that he's a bubble idiot.
But see, here's the thing. You got to get to him. Do you know who's been running this?
I mean our enemies as far as our country goes.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, they know. No, oh, yes. Why do you think Chinese nationalists now are sneaking in? They have said over 20,000 Chinese nationalists, military-aged men, has came through the border. I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump better have a dump truck so he can throw them in and dump them out. There's no other way to put it. Donald Trump.
I don't know if you heard, I don't know if you heard this report. I heard this report today. They're not only coming in from Mexico, they're coming over from Canada now, too.
This is an invasion.
New York, they're coming over from Canada.
This is an invasion in America. This is an absolute
they're coming
invasion.
from both borders, but nobody's talking about the northern border. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting few months before this election.
You know what? It shouldn't be an interesting few months because you know what? The Supreme Court just shot down. I'm going to tell you, I was listening to the Supreme Court today when hey, Miss Yvette Romick, how are you? I was listening to the Supreme Court today, and Eddie, the Supreme Court was taking Colorado apart. Because truth be told, if a Republicans or anyone should be challenging 35 states right now about Joe Biden mental decline, 25th Amendment. He is unfit to be president. If the Republican Party right now wanted to show the Democrat Party how to do it with what they're doing, with what the Democrat Party is doing when it comes to President Trump saying insurrectionists, and they took it upon themselves to do that, Republicans right now, see, this is what makes me so mad about the Republican Party. Right now, the Republican Party should be filing briefs to get Joe Biden off the ballots. Right now, they should be doing it. Right now, they should be doing it right now. They should be filing petitions to say Joe Biden is unfit to be president based on the 25th Amendment. But no Republican to do it.
Here's something else for you to chew on. Could this be the Democrats' plan to actually get rid of him and put somebody else in there to run against Trump?
You know what? If they try something like that, Joe Biden, I think, has them terrified because he wouldn't go quietly. I think Joe Biden turned into a monster and wouldn't go quietly. So now they're like, ugh, what we gonna do with him? What we're gonna do? That's what I honestly think. I think that he actually scares the Democrat Party.
They made their mess. They made their bed. They got to sleep in it now.
Yep.
All right. Oh, crap. The baby just woke up. I will concede my time, and if I get a chance, I'll give you a call tomorrow night.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Eddie.
All right. Bye.
All right, y'all. That was Eddie. Hey, listen, I do apologize for that other caller being muffled like that. Like I said, I could hear him right here, but for those who couldn't, Trump wins twice in Nevada in the race for Republican presidential nominee. You know what? Nikki Haley has nothing to stand in this race about. He doesn't. She doesn't. She's not going to get vice president. No, I'm sorry. But it still comes down. It still comes down to the point. Are Democrats willing to abandon their plans? The Democrat Party will not abandon their plans. Joe Biden is going to push their plans. Miss Bernice Miranda, Miss Deborah, Marine Army Mom, how are you? Thanks, Shane, for posting the number over there. I'm telling y'all, Shane Terry be on it, y'all. Shane Terry be on it. Shane Terry be on it. Kenny K, YouTube won't allow my super chat, so I will say it here. Time to start planning to show Democrats what a real insurrection looks like. Yes. Hello, David in Utah. David. Will they say you or do you got any boxes in your garages? And if you do, are any of them top secret?
No. I don't have a garage. I live in a travel trailer, so nope. Only thing I got in storage is models and furniture that I need to get out. Maybe some ammo and cleaning kits for firearms.
Well,
that's about it.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, because nobody has brought this up. Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think Kennedy, now if this stays, Kennedy should replace Joe Biden? Just ask you. Do you think Kennedy should replace Joe Biden?
Frankly, the only person I've been wanting to replace Dirty Joe is Trump. That's all I ever thought about. I never thought about down there. I don't care about the Democrat side.
Yeah, you know what? True.
Because they don't care about me.
Yep.
I don't worry about them. All I know is whoever they stand up, we got to beat them and put in. At least do our best to put an end to this garbage.
Well, let me ask
all of us are pretty, are sick and tired of putting up with.
Well, let me ask you this, David, and I got to say it, David. I got to say it. The Republican Party has been ducking, hiding under cover, scared to stick their head out with what was just said tonight. And I'll play it right now again with what was said tonight about Joe Biden. He is unfit with what was said. I want to play this real quick so people can hear.
But it said Mr. Biden's memory also appeared to have
so
significant limitations, both at the time he spoke,
Alrighty.
which was Wanitzer in 2017, as evidenced by their recorded conversations, and today as evidenced by his recorded interview with our office. Mr. Biden's recorded conversations with Wanitzer from 2017 are often painfully slow, with Mr. Biden struggling to remember events and straining at times to read and relay his own notebook entries. In his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on
Look at that. In his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president.
Oh, good God, I know. I heard it. I watched some of them clips and stuff. Man, he makes Hitler look sane. That's pretty bad.
This man didn't know what this man shows is that we have the Democrat Party plays politics so bad, so ornery, that they will put up a man that is clearly unfit for the office and just to hold on to power. They done it to Dianne Feinstein. You know, a lot of people say this is their excuse to replace Dianne Feinstein. Did people forget they wheeled Dianne Feinstein in? Somebody stood behind her and say, yes, vote for that, don't vote for that. That's what they did to Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein should have been in a hospice with her family surrounding her, but the Democrat Party used her until she died like an old mule. You don't think they'll do that to Joe Biden?
Oh, they'll do it. They'll do it to anybody. Like I said in my comments earlier, their whole thing is getting absolute power, ruling over us, and playing God. You know, they don't give a damn about anything else, you know?
No,
they don't care about the country. They don't care about American people. All they care about is themselves and how they can make themselves rich and be able to tell us measly peons how to run our lives and what to do.
Well, hold on for 1 second, David. Hold on for 1 second. Hey, Rumble.
Okay.
Hold on for 1 second, David. Hold on. Hey, Rumble. It's 152 people watching. There is only 29 likes. If y'all don't mind, if you can you come over and hit that like button. If you're here for the first time, hit the like button. If you're here for the first time, hit the like button. If you've been here, hit that like button. Because I know certain people, Rapper 10,000, Eddie Ladd, I know he done hit it. I know Ty Templar done hit it. Yvette Romick, Kimmy K, I know she done did it. Hey, Shane 316, I know you done did it. Miss Joy R, I know you done did it. But it's no excuse why I got 29 people with 154 watching. At least that number should be to 35, 36. But keep going, Mr. David.
Like I said, you know, it's even when we do get Trump in, it's pretty evident we're going to be dealing with a lot of evil stuff because they'll be still trying to bring him down, going to get him stuck with Third World War if they don't shut their faces and get out of bloody Ukraine. God knows what all else. I'm just so sick of putting up with them. I'm sick of their evil. I'm sick of their BS. You know, if I could ship them off to somewhere, I'll ship them off from Argentina down there to old Nazis that ran over there to after the war. They got to get along real good with them.
You know what? Miss Joy R, Petty Officer Joy, Miss Joy, she just made a good comment about one more person. RBG. RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, would be falling asleep during arguments on the Supreme Court. The Democrat Party let and pushed RBG. She was old and frail and couldn't do the job, and they pushed her up there to stay in so Donald Trump couldn't replace her, and she died. Haven't you noticed all these elderly people that the Democrat Party are keeping in power and in position? They die in their job. The Democrat Party don't just take your life. The Democrat Party takes your soul. I want y'all to remember that. The Democrat Party just don't take your life. They take your soul.
Exactly right. I got enough trouble with one person trying to take my soul. I don't have time to put up with anybody else pulling the same crap.
Well, they're sure pulling it, and they ain't hiding it. They are not hiding it.
Nope. They sure aren't. They think they can't be stopped. They think we can't do nothing. That's why. But at the same time, they claim that, but then they're trying to get all these so-called alphabet agencies extra armed up with extra rules and all this extra garbage so they can clamp down on us and shut us up and put us away if we don't shut up and do what they want.
Y'all, and I thank Ms. Joy R. for bringing that up. They wheeled Dianne Feinstein into the Senate hearing. They wheeled Ruth Bader Ginsburg in. They have no problem wheeling Joe Biden in. As long as if he can sign. David, the last 30 seconds is yours.
Like I said, we gotta get our stuff together and be ready to fight like we never fought before. You know, treat this as the Second World War. Gotta fight to win. Because we've been Pearl Harbored, and it's time for some serious payback and save our country.
Well, I thank you for the call. I thank you for the call, David. But yes, this is correct. The Democrat Party is using Joe Biden and anybody that will do what they want them to, that will do what the Democrat Party tell them to do, and they want you to literally die while you in office. I want people to understand that this man is going, they want him to die while he in office, so guess who can get it? Kamala Harris. This was always the plan, that he die in office and Kamala Harris eventually takes over and makes history, because Kamala Harris will be a controlled idiot for the Democrat Party. But thank you for the call, David.
All right.
Y'all, that was David Hessler of Utah. Let's get back to it.
On the first day of the interview when his term ended, quote, "If it was 2013, when did I stop being vice president?" And forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began, quote, "In 2009, am I still vice president?" He did not remember even within several years when his son Beau died, and his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate that was once so important to him. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference of opinion with General Carl Eikenberry, when in fact Eikenberry was an ally whom Mr. Biden cited approvingly in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. In a case where the government must prove that Mr. Biden had possession of the classified documents after the vice presidency and chose to keep those documents, knowing he was violating the law, we expect that at trial his attorneys would emphasize these limitations in his recall. The other issue here, of course, is that these interviews were done in the days after the October 7 attack in Israel, raising the question of whether his memory issues are currently impacting anything he does in his office. And this has already been seized on by Team Trump. As you can imagine, his campaign has put out a quote through their communications director for MAGA Inc., saying if you're too senile to stand trial, then you're too senile to be president. Joe Biden is unfit to lead this nation. We did know
Donald Trump looks good, healthy. The people believe it. They do not need to replace Joe Biden. Joe Biden needs to stay. But you can expect dirty tricks from the Democrat are coming.
this report was likely to come out today, but the detail it goes into around the president's memory is quite shocking.
It sure is, and I think that's a fair point, unfit to lead the nation. I mean, we are talking about the US president here who, as you mentioned there, Annalise, by someone independent away from politics, said his memory's poor. Right in an election campaign. That
press, but the American people, that he's mentally sharp enough to continue to execute the duties of the presidency?
No, we just saw an unmitigated disaster play out before our very eyes. We just watched a wounded political animal hobble to a podium and react with defensiveness, with anger. And you know it's bad, Jesse, when you have the White House press corps. They are essentially an extension of the Joe Biden press and communications team. When they are shouting at him, asking repeatedly, "Are you going to step aside, Mr. President?" The CNN correspondent asking that. When NBC of all places, writes a headline, "A nightmare. Special counsel report triggers panic among Democrats." And when you have a president who for 45 minutes announces a press conference with no topic, giving the world 45 minutes to speculate, is he stepping aside? What would life be like under a President Kamala Harris? For 45 minutes, the nation got to feel that panic, and I don't think they will forget it come November.
Yeah, we were upstairs thinking whether he was going to announce that he wasn't running for re-election and what the implications in terms of national security would be. I mean, he's already jeopardized national security and then lied about it to the press just now, saying he never willfully retained these classified documents, did not take any responsibility for it, blamed the press when in fact the special counsel said that he packed some of these boxes. And he's on tape acknowledging, "Oh yeah, I've got classified documents down there." And then when Peter Doocy says, you know, "You have issues with your memory," he goes, "My memory is so bad, I let you speak." And that doesn't even make any sense, Kayleigh.
It makes no sense. I believe that one day we will discover that we were all played in what was the biggest presidential cover-up in recent memory. I mean, Jesse, think of the lengths that this team around him has had to go to create an eggshell environment that has kept the American people out. His lawyers wrote to the special counsel, "Please take out the details about his memory." Jill Biden has to escort him off the stage. Karine Jean-Pierre yells ad hominem attacks at Peter Doocy when he asks questions about age. Tonight, the White House communications director said, "Oh, the interview just came one day after October 7th, as if that's an excuse. His campaign says they bring up his age, the press does, to distract from the booming economy. These are all ploys to deceive the American people. One day we will discover the cover-up and how greatly at risk we were for this man being in charge."
Well, today we found out that there has been a cover-up, and they certified everything that we have all seen with our very own eyes, that he just does not have what it takes.
Y'all, I know I wanted to get to some different stuff, but everybody, this is big. This is right in our face. This is the interview that they're talking about. And of course, it's Sky News. Sky News is the only people that'll put Joe Biden on and show how horrible he's doing. Let me make sure I got the volume turned up. Yep, volume turned up.
In his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally out.
How bad is your memory? And can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak. That's
your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? You know, I guess I just forgot what was going on.
Mr. President.
Voters have concerns about your age. How are you going to assuage them? And do you fear that this report is only going to fuel further concerns about your age?
Only by some of you.
Mr. President,
Clear up criminal liability today. Do you take responsibility for at least being careless with classified material?
I take responsibility for not having seen exactly what my staff was doing. It goes in and points out things that appeared in my garage, things that came out of my home, things that were moved not by me but my staff,
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press.
They express concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your answer to that question?
Because I'm the most qualified person in this country to be president of the United States and finish the job I started.
They coming after him.
Why are you confusing the names of world leaders?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter.
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
But the special counsel said it.
Well, no, I did not say that.
Okay.
He did not say that.
But Mr. President, what other...
Let me answer your question. The fact of the matter is, what I didn't want repeated, I didn't want him to know, and I didn't read it to him, was I had written a long memorandum to President Obama why we should not be in Afghanistan. And I was of multiple pages. And so what I was referring to, I said classified. I should have said should be private because it was a contact between the president and the vice president as to what was going on. That's what he was referring to. It was not classified information in that document. That was not classified.
This man is horrible. This man is just plain out horrible. What we are seeing is you can't hide it no more. You can't hide it no more. You can't hide it. Everybody's worst fears have came to permission. Joe Biden is unfit. Joe Biden is unfit for American office. And they did this interview a few days after the 7th of October, 2023. So, this is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. And you got Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin looks like he can just keep going and going and going. Vladimir Putin, they saw him, seeing his interview with Tucker Carlson. He was sharp. He was relaxed. Vladimir Putin was sharp, relaxed. To see him do what he did, Vladimir Putin looked like, hey, if y'all had a choice, me or Biden, who would you take? This was good. This was a good interview. Yes, it was. Where is it at? There we go. And I'm just going to play a little bit of it. He actually told Tucker Carlson, America is giving money to Ukraine. Don't we got other things to do? Don't we got more pressing issues? This is what the man said. And laughed. Oh, God. This is... Okay, I didn't get it. Let me try it one more time. All right, think I got it.
At the beginning of the interview, we asked them until 2 years ago, February, and in the case that you made, which I read today, you explain at great length that you felt a physical threat from the West in NATO, including potentially a nuclear threat, and that's what got you to move. Is that a fair characterization of what you said?
Я понимаю, что мои длинные диалоги
not in Ukrainian, in Russian, and in Hungarian. I was driving through some kind of village
Until 2 years ago, February, until 2 years ago, February, and until 2 years ago, February. Many nations feel frustrated.
They preserved the Hungarian language, Hungarian names, and all their national costumes. They are Hungarians and they feel themselves to be Hungarians. And of course, when now there is an infringement.
Well, that is, and there's a lot of that, though. I think many nations, they're upset about Transylvania as well, as you obviously know. But many nations feel frustrated by the redrawn borders of the wars of the 20th century and wars going back 1,000 years, the ones that you mentioned. But the fact is that you didn't make this case in public until 2 years ago, February. And in the case that you made, which I read today, you explain at great length that you felt a physical threat from the West in NATO, including potentially a nuclear threat, and that's what got you to move. Is that a fair characterization of what you said?
Я понимаю, что мои длинные диалоги, они...
I understand that my long speeches probably fall outside of the genre of the interview. That is why I asked you at the beginning, are we going to have a serious talk or a show? You said a serious talk, so bear with me, please. We're coming to the point where the Soviet Ukraine was established. Then, in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, and everything that Russia had generously bestowed on Ukraine was dragged away by the latter. I'm coming to a very important point of today's agenda.
Thank you.
After all, the collapse of the Soviet Union was effectively initiated by the Russian leadership. I do not understand what the Russian leadership was guided by at the time, but I suspect there were several reasons to think everything would be fine. First, I think that then Russian leadership believed that the fundamentals of the relationship between Russia and Ukraine were, in fact, a common language. More than 90% of the population there spoke Russian. Family ties. Every third person there had some kind of family or friendship ties. Common culture, common history. Finally, common faith, coexistence with a single state for centuries, and deeply interconnected economies. All of these were so fundamental. All these elements together make our good relationships inevitable.
Я хочу, чтобы вы, как американские гражданины, чтобы...
The second point is a very important one.
Прежнее российское руководство...
I want you, as an American citizen, and your viewers to hear about this as well.
Больше никаких разделителей.
The former Russian leadership assumed that the Soviet Union had ceased to exist, and therefore there were no longer any ideological dividing lines.
Инициативно пошла даже на развал Советского Союза.
Russia even agreed voluntarily and proactively to the collapse of the Soviet Union, and believed that this would be understood by the so-called civilized West as an invitation for cooperation and association. That is what Russia was expecting, both from the United States and the so-called collective West as a whole. There were smart people, including in Germany, Egon Bahr, a major politician of the Social Democratic Party, who insisted in his personal conversations with the Soviet leadership on the brink of the collapse of the Soviet Union that a new security system should be established in Europe. Help should be given to unify Germany, but a new system should be also established to include the United States, Canada, Russia, and other Central European countries.
Yes.
But NATO needs not to expand. That's what he said. If NATO expands, everything would be just the same as during the Cold War, only closer to Russia's borders. That's all. He was a wise old man, but no one listened to him. In fact, he got angry once. If, he said, you don't listen to me, I'm never setting my foot in Moscow once again. Everything happened just as he had said.
Well, of course, it did come true, and you've mentioned this many times. I think it's a fair point. And many in America thought that relations between Russia and the United States would be fine with the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War, that the opposite happened. But you've never explained why you think that happened, except to say that the West fears a strong Russia, but we have a strong China the West does not seem very afraid of. What about Russia, do you think, convinced policymakers they had to take it down?
Запад боится сильного Китая больше, чем сильной России.
The West is afraid of strong China more than it fears a strong Russia, because Russia has 150 million people and China has 1.5 billion population, and its economy is growing by leaps and bounds, or 5% a year. It used to be even more. But that's enough for China. As Bismarck once put it, potentials are the most important. China's potential is enormous. It is the biggest economy in the world today in terms of purchasing power parity and the size of the economy. It has already overtaken the United States quite a long time ago, and it is growing at a rapid clip. Let's not talk about who is afraid of whom. Let's not reason in such terms. And let's get into the fact that after 1991, when Russia expected that it would be welcomed into the brotherly family of civilized nations, nothing like this happened. You tricked us. I don't mean you personally when I say you. Of course, I'm talking about the United States. The promise was that NATO would not expand eastward, but it happened 5 times. There were 5 waves of expansion. We tolerated all that. We were trying to persuade them. We were saying, please don't. We are as bourgeois now as you are. We are market economy and there is no communist party power. Let's negotiate. Moreover, I have also said this publicly before. There was a moment when a certain rift started growing between us. Before that, Yeltsin came to the United States. Remember, he spoke in Congress and said the good words, God bless America. Everything he said were signals. Let us in. Remember the developments in Yugoslavia before the Yeltsin was lavished with praise? As soon as the developments in Yugoslavia started, he raised his voice in support of Serbs, and we couldn't but raise our voices for Serbs in their defense. I understand that there were complex processes underway there, I do, but Russia could not help raising its voice in support of Serbs, because Serbs are also a special and close to us nation, with Orthodox culture and so on. It's a nation that has suffered so much for generations. Well, regardless, what is important is that Yeltsin expressed his support. What did the United States do? In violation of international law and the UN Charter, it started bombing Belgrade. It was the United States that let the genie out of the bottle. Moreover, when Russia protested and expressed its resentment, what was said? The UN Charter and international law have become obsolete. Now everyone invokes international law, but at that time they started saying that everything was outdated. Everything had to be changed. Indeed, some things need to be changed, as the balance of power has changed. It's true, but not in this manner. Yeltsin was immediately dragged through the mud, accused of alcoholism, of understanding nothing, of knowing nothing.
Yep.
He understood everything, I assure you.
They called him a drunk.
I became president in 2000. I thought, okay, the Yugoslav issue is over, but we should try to restore relations. Let's reopen the door that Russia had tried to go through. And moreover, I said it publicly, I can reiterate. At a meeting here in the Kremlin with the outgoing President Bill Clinton, right here in the next room, I said to him,
now, here is something I didn't know. Russia tried to join NATO. Russia tried to join NATO. And Bill Clinton said, and no, Vladimir Putin has said that the bureaucrats stopped him in America from joining NATO. Listen to this.
I asked him, Bill, do you think if Russia asked to join NATO, do you think it would happen? Suddenly he said, you know, it's interesting. I think so. But in the evening, when we met for dinner, he said, you know, I've talked to my team. No, it's not possible now. You can ask him. I think he will watch our interview. He'll confirm it. I wouldn't have said anything like that if it hadn't happened. Okay.
Were you
well,
sincere?
It's impossible now.
Would you have joined NATO?
Look, I asked the question, is it possible or not? And the answer I got was no. If I was insincere in my desire to find out...
Hey, Maurice, what's going on?
But if he had said yes, would you have joined NATO?
If he had said yes, the process of rapprochement would have commenced, and eventually it might have happened if we had seen some sincere wish on the other side of our partners. But it didn't happen. Well, no means no. Okay, fine.
Why do you think that is? Just to get to motive, I know you're clearly bitter about it. I understand. But why do you think the West rebuffed you then? Why the hostility? Why did the end of the Cold War not fix the relationship? What motivates this from your point of view?
You said I was bitter about the answer. No, it's not bitterness. It's just a statement of fact. We're not bride and groom, bitterness, resentment. It's not about those kind of matters in such circumstances. We just realized we weren't welcome there, that's all. Okay, fine. But let's build relations in another manner. Let's look for common ground elsewhere. Why we received such a negative response, you should ask your leaders. I can only guess why. Too big a country with its own opinion and so on. And the United States, I've seen how issues are being resolved in NATO. I will give you another example now concerning Ukraine. The US leadership exerts pressure, and all NATO members obediently vote, even if they do not like something. Now, I'll tell you what happened in this regard with Ukraine in 2008, although it's being discussed. I'm not going to open a secret to you, say anything new. Nevertheless, after that we tried to build relations in different ways. For example, the events in the Middle East, in Iraq. We were building relations with the United States in a very soft, prudent, cautious manner. I repeatedly raised the issue that the United States should not support separatism or terrorism in the North Caucasus. But they continue to do it anyway. and political support, information support, financial support, even military support came from the United States and its satellites for terrorist groups in the Caucasus. I once raised this issue with my colleague, also the President of the United States. He says, "It's impossible. Do you have proof?" I said, "Yes." I was prepared for this conversation, and I gave him that proof. He looked at it, and you know what he said? "I apologize, but that's what happened." I'll quote. He says, "Well, I'm gonna kick their ass." We waited and waited for some response. There was no reply.
I thought that was Barack Obama. I don't think Tucker Carlson made himself look like a fool. I think Tucker Carlson just showed up Fox News right now. Just right now, y'all. Just right now. I believe that Tucker Carlson interview has been seen by like 50 million people. 50 million people have seen the Tucker Carlson Vladimir Putin interview. 106. Oh my God, this man is breaking Twitter. Even Rumble is at 1 million views. Yeah, he said, "You feel bitter." And he's like, "No, I don't feel bitter. It ain't like we married." Yeah, Putin was a little ticked on that one. Y'all, phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. If you want to call in and talk about the Putin interview, you can. Did I go live on Rumble last night? I don't think I did. I got to go Rumble tonight. I got to go Rumble. Let's see what's going on with Nevada. Let me go check on Nevada. Let me go check on Nevada real quick. Let's check on it. Let's see what it says. Oh, snap. President Trump about to go live. Hold up. President Trump about to go live. Hold up. Y'all know when President Trump goes live, we watch him. Let me see. Is he going to be on RDC? Let me see. Let me go Rumble. Let me see, because I prefer Rumble to use Rumble. What's RDC? Let me see. Can I catch him? Let me see. Okay, yeah. I'll use this one since it's Rumble. I use Rumble. Web browser. Let me see. Come on, skip ad. God, come on. 33. Let's see. Let's see. Close.
Praise it, but I'm the one running, and we are leading in every poll. We're leading in the local polls, in the state polls, and we're leading in the swing state polls, and we're leading very big in the national polls. So it's been a very great honor. We love the country. I think the reason we have such big leads, frankly, is that they loved 4 years of us compared to the 3 years plus the 3 years that they've gone with Biden, where you have open borders, you have crime. Nobody's ever seen crime like this, what's happening. And now the crime is being committed, much of it by the migrants that have come in illegally to our country. I was wondering about that. I said, you know, a lot of these people come out of jails, they come out of mental institutions, they come out of places that you don't want to know about. We don't even know where they come from. We don't know who they are, where they are. They're being dumped in from mental institutions, from prisons and jails. And many terrorists are coming into our country. We're going to be paying a big price. They have to stop it. They have to close the border. By the way, the president can do it just by saying, I want the border closed. I closed the border. We had the safest border in the history of our country. Now we have the most unsafe border in the history of the world. There's never been a country with a border like this. Not even a third.
I want to thank Miss Kimberly Ashcroft. She says Donald Trump won 97.6%, gained 23 delegates. Ugh. Ugh. Donald Trump got 98% of the delegates. That's embarrassing. I'm trying to see is he coming live tonight, but I don't think he's coming live. Yeah, I don't think he's going live tonight. Thank you, Miss Kimberly Ashcroft, for the kindness and generosity and donation to the page. Uh-oh, somebody done text me. Super chat on Rumble. Miss Kimberly Ashcroft got that, Shane. I got it. Now, here's just some of the Supreme Court. I mean, this been a big night tonight. I had to go live. It's just been so big.
Language that might be a little bit broad, but at bottom, Griffin's case is about a collateral habeas proceeding. And Griffin had brought his case after the fact. He needed a cause of action. Why wouldn't it work in a trial for him to challenge Sheffy's constitutional ability to adjudicate his case?
What Griffin's case holds is that only Congress can provide the means of enforcing Section 3. And under Your Honor's hypothetical, Congress has not enacted any such statute that would give Mr. Griffin the right to raise those types of arguments at his trial. So he would have to await legislation from Congress.
Okay, let's assume that I disagree with you about the officer argument. So Section 3 covers President Trump. Let's say that Congress enacts a quo warranto provision that would allow a state, or I guess it doesn't really matter for this purpose, even a federal prosecutor, to bring such an action against him, to remove him from office in the quo warranto way. Wouldn't that be in some tension with impeachment? He would be extracted from office outside of the process of impeachment. Couldn't then President Trump simply say, well, the only way to get me out of office is the impeachment process and not this quo warranto action?
So I don't know how that would play out, because the quo warranto actions that were brought, that I'm aware of, under the 1870 Enforcement Act, were brought against state officials. And Your Honor's impeachment hypothetical would apply not only to the president, but any federal officer of the United States.
I know.
So I don't know how that played out in the courts and whether anyone ever tried to argue that impeachment was the exclusive remedy for.
Well, I don't think anybody did argue it. I guess what I'm asking is, you said it's Congress's exclusive province.
Yes.
And you also said that it has to apply, after one is holding office, is elected. And I'm asking whether then the implication of your argument is that Congress could not enact such a provision that applied against federal office holders that were covered by Section 3 as opposed to state ones.
I believe they could. And the impeachment clause says that the president, the vice president, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office upon impeachment and conviction. But it doesn't say that's the only way you can remove them. I mean, Congress can defund a position, and effectively, it's not quite the same as formal removal. But the other relevant precedent is Stewart against Laird, when the Jeffersonians repealed the Midnight Judges Act and abolished all of these positions for federal judges. And some people thought that was unconstitutional because they thought the only way you could eliminate federal judges was through impeachment. But Chief Justice Marshall upheld that statute. So that, to me, is a relevant precedent showing that impeachment is not the only way to get rid of a federal official.
Okay, let me just ask one question, and this is just a point of clarification. Does President Trump have any kind of due process right here? I mean, I'm wondering, this kind of goes not to the cause of action point or the preemption point, but more to the question of what procedures he might have been entitled to. You don't make the argument that he was entitled to any, nor did I see the argument that he had any kind of constitutionally protected right to ballot access, so that he was, and constitutionally entitled to an opportunity to be heard. Is that right? He had no due process right?
We made that argument below. We did not make that in our briefs to this court for several reasons. I mean, Your Honor's, I think, suggesting, and this is correct, that the proceedings below, to put it charitably, were highly irregular.
Well, I wasn't suggesting that. I was just asking.
The question seems to suggest that there might be due process issues, but we didn't develop that argument in this court for several reasons. Winning on due process doesn't really do as much for our client as the other arguments that we've made, because that would be a ruling.
Yeah,
We didn't develop that argument in this court for several reasons. Winning on due process doesn't really do as much for our client as the other arguments that we've made, because that would be a ruling specific to this particular proceeding in the state of Colorado and would leave the door open for Colorado to continue on remand to exclude him from the ballot.
But yeah, they was coming after them today. They was coming after them today, and it was not good. Was not good. Not good. Let me see, can I find the other one? No. Sotomayor questions. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Let me check, see if there's anybody on the phone lines. All right, Mike's on the phone line. Mike. All right. Hey, Mike, what's going on tonight?
Oh, not too much. And you're right about Nikki Haley. She got taken to the woodshed.
Yes.
She got taken. I mean, the great Richard Pryor did a movie way back when called Brewster's Millions, right? And in that movie, he had to, we know the plot of that movie, he had to spend all that money to get more money, but that's not the point. The point is, to spend the money, he ran for some office or whatever it was, and it was his thing was none of the above, and that's what they did. Thank you, Nevada, thank you, because now maybe she'll get it through her head that she's not going to win even in her own state.
Yes, because she's down in South Carolina.
Yep, and that's the thing. Now, as far as what I'm looking right at your screen here, I'm looking that thing, and you're right. The Republicans got to learn to play by the rules that are set forward. Now the rules might very well change because they've been getting Colorado's been being hammered in the Supreme Court on this thing. They've been taken to the woodshed on it. But until that happens, the rule set forward is we got to get Trump. We're going to try and get Trump off the ballot, right?
Yeah.
That's the rule that's been set forward until the Supreme Court says no, you can't do it. All right, which probably is coming, but until then, they need to start the process of getting him off the ballot. I once thought when all this information was starting to come out and being given to the House that the impeachment was going to happen, and the trial was going to be held in the Senate, right? Well, apparently, no, that's not going to happen, and apparently they don't want Kamala Harris, or as I call her, knee pads, to Willie Brown's girlfriend, to invoke the 25th Amendment, which basically she could be impeached for not doing that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Say that again.
Kamala Harris could be impeached for not invoking the 25th Amendment.
No, that's the 25th Amendment has to be done by the whole staff in order to do that. And then that's kind of goes on to people's personal opinion, because she can think, no. I think the president's fit. So that's kind of what's your opinion? See, the 25th Amendment really is based on the opinion. It's based on the opinion. That's what it is.
Right.
So it's like, if all us come together, we believe that the president's unfit, we can do that. We have to take them to get cognitive tests and mental tests and stuff like that. It's just not like, hey, we're just going to vote and it's be a 25th Amendment be another thing for called a coup. It'd be a coup. No, it's a certain process they have to, and I don't think Kamala Harris wants that.
Right. And frankly, they're talking about who they're going to get to replace Biden if they do something with him.
And
they're bringing up Michelle Obama and Michael Obama, whatever you want to call him.
Yes.
Or the first Wookiee, or whatever you want to call him. Her, him, whatever it is. I don't foresee that, because the thing with Michelle or Michael, whatever you want to call him, is that it is a very private person. She didn't like to be in the White House in the first place. She's a very private person, and is she going to want to give up that privacy to be the president of the United States? I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. Because she because she likes power. Remember, whoa, hold up. She likes power. Michelle Obama likes power. That's what she likes. So I wouldn't put it past her to do it. I wouldn't. Because of power.
Right. And also the other overriding thing is, I don't think Barack Obama, we know it takes a great big ego to think of yourself as the president of the United States, right? Barack Obama doesn't want another president in the family. He wants the thing about I'm the only president in the family, you know.
But you forgot Barack Obama's one of these. Barack Obama is one of these beta men who wants his wife to be better than him. So I don't know. He may welcome it. He may
we'll see.
welcome it.
This has been, according to some, Barack Obama's third term. You know. Now, again, I've said about the whole thing with Biden is the corruption. They'd rather have the corruption behind closed doors, underneath the table, where nobody can see it. But with Biden, it's right there in the people's faces. You know, right there. And so they're going to have to get rid of Biden so that the corruption can go behind closed doors and under the table, back where in their minds it should be. So if they can get rid of Biden and bring in Michelle or whomever, then that's the plan.
Well,
you know.
Well, Mike, let me say this when it comes to Michelle Obama. I got two battling articles. One says she doesn't want it, and thank you for the call, Mike.
Gotcha.
One article saying she wants it, another one saying she don't. But I put a but. They said she would beat him. I just want y'all to look at what they say if they replace Joe Biden. I'm about to go over to Rumble in 3 minutes. I'm about to go over to Rumble real soon. He don't look too good.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's becoming an seemingly an increasingly likely chance that Michelle Obama could potentially replace Joe Biden. This is something that not just politicos are talking about, but everyday Americans. I hear my neighbors and friends and family talking about this all the time. And it's because, Chris, the Democrats have an incredibly weak bench. Think about it. If they need to get rid of Joe Biden and replace him, who are they going to replace him with? Everyone's been talking about Gavin Newsom for the past couple of years, but Newsom really embarrassed himself recently in a Fox News debate against Ron DeSantis. He performed horribly. Meanwhile, his state of California is in shambles. People are fleeing it at record rates. So he might not work. You have Kamala Harris, who is just so unlikable. She was a dud in the Democratic primary. She doesn't poll well with women or Black voters. I mean, everybody just dislikes her. So who are they going to replace Biden with? Michelle Obama would be the perfect choice. She's incredibly likable. 60% of Americans see her favorably. She is not seen as particularly polarizing. She has a kind of warm, inviting personality, and she's a woman, and she would bring out that woman vote, especially among college-educated suburban women. The Democrats are already doing really well with that group, but she would really solidify it for them. So the big question is, can they convince Biden to step down, and then can they convince Michelle Obama to run? Those are very big questions, but hey, it's looking more likely the more time goes on and the more feeble and weak Biden appears.
A lot has to fall into place, but the stakes are very high. And I've thought of this as a wild card for a long while. In fact, I put some money on Michelle Obama as the next president last year, and it was 23 to 1. I noticed today it's paying only $7.50.
So, yeah, they're looking. Karl Rove said no, she doesn't want it. So, it's a toss-up. All right, everybody, it's time to go over to Rumble. It's time to go over to Rumble. We're going to talk more about Joe Biden, but we got to go over to Rumble. Rumble Rebels, are you ready? Rumble Rebels, are you ready? Now, to everyone, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you for coming. I know I was, hold up. Got a couple emails. Rapper 10,000 says, hold up.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
All right. Rapper 10,000 says, Jamal, Democrats are worse than Nazis, using people till they are nothing but dust to push evil and division. The media is our enemy and liars, and Tucker interview is a must-watch. To under that, Russia is not our enemy. Troll Nikki Haley fans with that Willy Wonka meme, you get nothing. He's saying she get the Willy Wonka thing. You get nothing, nothing, nothing. Don't. Jack Boyd says, oh, he sent me the Tucker Carlson interview. All right, I'm looking. That was it. Okay, everybody. Let's head over here to Rumble. This energy drink is doing what it's supposed to do, but it ain't lasting. The energy drink, I had to get up at 5. I had to get up back at 5, leave the house at 6 o'clock this morning. So, all hearts and minds. All hearts and minds. Oh, Trump live, Trump live. Uh-oh, Trump live, Trump live, Trump live. Trump live, Trump live. Trump live. Trump is live. Uh-oh, he ain't speaking yet. I can beat it. I'm coming. Till he is able to keep us. In Jesus Christ's holy name, Lord Jesus, forgive us of all our sins. For he who is able to keep us, for he who watches over us, Lord Jesus, thank you. Keep watching over us. Keep blessing us. Help those who are sick. Heal those who are sick, suffering with cancers and other diseases. Lord Jesus, for he who is able to heal us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray and love you. Amen. Come on, Rumble.
We also have some people in the audience that are really something. If you're a golfer, Bryson DeChambeau, he hits a long ball. We love Bryson. And Patrick Reed, who won the Masters recently and was a great player. Wherever you may be in this room, thank you very much. I love golf and I love people that know how to play golf. There aren't too many people that can do it. If you like to fight, if you want to fight, you can fight this guy. He's available. It's not going to last long. Sean Strickland. You don't want to fight him. Sean. nasty looking guy. Look at those ears. You look at those ears. Oh, I looked at him. I said, I want no part of him. Thank you very much, Sean. We appreciate it. Kevin McCarthy's here. Kevin, whoa. Thank you, Kevin. That's very nice. That is very nice. We appreciate it. Did anyone ever hear of the Nelk Boys? Because Dana White called me. He said, would you do an interview with the Nelk Boys? I said, who are the Nelk Boys? I did this crazy interview. We had like 22 million hits. I never saw anything like it. Where are the Nelk? The Nelk. Oh, thank you. Okay, have a good time. Look at them. I just want to say that this has been an incredible period of time. I think for our country, for the world has not been like this for many, many years. When you look at the attack on Israel or the attack on Ukraine with Russia, that don't.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Shane.
The Israeli attack would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. The world would be a much different place right now. And we're going to make sure that we bring it back, and we're going to bring it back fast, and we're going to bring it back very, very strong. Very, very strong. But, and it's so sad to see. It's all of the death that you've witnessed with Ukraine and Russia fighting, and again what happened in Israel. All of the death and all of the destruction of cities and places that are ancient places in a sense. Ancient buildings being knocked down. You can never replace it. But all those people that died, most importantly, would have never happened, and we're going to change it. We're going to change it around. We're going to get it back to normalcy. It can't continue like this. The world is exploding. Our country is doing horribly. We're a laughing stock all over the world. We were respected. We were respected like never before. Just 3 years ago, we are now a laughing stock all over the world. We're not respected even a little bit. And you understand why. You understand why. You need leadership, and this country does not have leadership. It has no idea what's happening. It's lost its way. It's a failing nation, and we're not going to have a failing nation much longer. I just want to really thank the great people of Nevada, because this was a turnout. I don't know if you know, you broke the all-time record. The all-time caucus record was broken, and we kept waiting and waiting because they're all flowing in from all parts of your state. They all want to be. I said, well, wait. But I said, they're going to be very upset when they come here, and everyone's gone. But I said, we have to start.
Good night.
But this has been a tremendous
YouTube
state.
and Facebook.
And, you know, if we win this state, we easily win the election in November. We have to win the election.
You know what?
And you know, great countries.
I keep it on. Rumble, we gonna take it out after President Trump.
Thank you very much. But great countries are all about a lot of things, but two things in particular. You have to have strong borders, and you have to have free, fair, and honest elections. And we don't have either. And we're going to have them back. We had 3 years ago, we had the strongest border in the history of our country, and we were doing great. And our economy was the best, and we rebuilt our military, so many things. And then you had the tragedy of the Afghanistan surrender. That was nothing less than a surrender. And President Putin watched that, and he saw that, and he said, wow, this could be my chance to go and do what I wanted to do. They never would have happened. It would have never happened. But he went in and he did what he wanted to do. But we're going to bring the world back, and we're going to bring the world back to normalcy. And this country is going to be the leader, and we're going to be also at the same time focused on a thing called America First, right? America First. And it'll be peace through strength. You know, a few terms that are very descriptive, but peace through strength. There's no reason for this. I left and I see that all over the Middle East they're bombing again. I said, I remember that before I came, everyone was bombing. You don't have to bomb. We defeated ISIS, radically defeated ISIS. And then we had no wars. You know, they say first in 72 years, first president. I remember on the debate stage with Hillary Clinton. I don't use the word crooked anymore. I use that word for somebody else. I retired it. That was a good night for Hillary. She was very happy that night. That was one of the best nights. I retired the name from Hillary and put it onto Joe, Crooked Joe. But we have a country that has tremendous potential. But if anything bad happens in this next election, if this election isn't won by us, we're not going to have a country anymore. We're not going to have a country. So I appreciate the tremendous record that you set tonight. You set an all-time record for your state. And it really was. It was tremendous turnout, tremendous. It's they had lines going back, and they sort of knew who was going to win. You get 98%. We wanted to get over 80, and we got 98. And also, if you remember, and last night, you know what happened last night, right? None of the above. So I'd like to congratulate none of the above. I was one of those none of ever aboves. I was one of them. No, I watched that last night, and they won by 44 points. None of the above. So I want to congratulate. But seriously, we have to get back. This was a great day. This was a great night. Our Supreme Court hopefully will be doing something in terms of helping our country and preserving democracy. We have to preserve our democracy. And I think they had a very, very interesting day and a very beautiful day, perhaps. I think it was really a very beautiful sight to watch. And it's the way it's supposed to be. And hopefully the decision will be a very important decision. But there's never been anything like it. In the polls, we're leading everybody. We are right now. Is there any way we can call the election for next Tuesday? That's all I want. I want to call the election for next Tuesday, but we're going to make our country great again. We're going to make it great. We're going to make it greater than ever before. The enthusiasm and the turnout, Doug and I were talking, I don't think you've ever seen anything like it, right? You were at various of the caucus sites, and they both came back and they said, we've never seen anything like it. Would you like to say a few words? Please.
Thank you, President Trump. I just want to build on that. At the caucus sites that Catherine and I were at tonight, the lines were stringing around the block in those buildings, people waiting out in the cold. And I do want to say thank you to all of you and all the people in Nevada that voted tonight, because you're sending a signal to the nation. One is that this primary is over. President Trump has won. That's the signal you're sending. And the second thing that really matters is that all of you that voted tonight, that came out tonight, need to show up in November, but bring somebody with you, because Nevada is going to be a swing state and President Trump is going to win it in November.
What about Woody? He's been my friend for so many years. Do you mind if I let him speak for a second? Woody Johnson.
Oh, what a good day. Those, I don't know if anybody listened to the Supreme Court arguments today, but boy, I've never seen arguments like that, totally in favor of the president's position. Excellent. So that was good, but this is even better. Winning Nevada is propelling us. We're going to win the election, and this is good. You're going to see Donald J. Trump as another great president.
Thank you, Woody. So, God bless you all. We have to save our country. We're going to save our country. We're going to make America greater than it's ever been. We have to stop it. We have to close up our borders. We have to close them up. I believe you'll have 19 million people by the time this guy is out of office. 19 million. That's substantially bigger than New York State. And these people, many of them are coming from prisons and jails. They're coming from mental institutions, and they're terrorists. And you see what's happening. I don't know if you've been watching your news lately. I kept saying, crime is through the roof all over our country. And I kept saying, when is it going to be that I don't see any migrant crime? Well, guess what? It's happening at levels now like nobody's ever seen. And we can't let it happen. So get ready. We're going to get out there. We're going to win. We're going to have a great election. We're going to turn our country around. You're going to be so happy. We were energy independent. Think of it. 3 years ago, we were energy independent, and now we're trying to buy from Venezuela. You're getting your, and remember this, we have more, I call it liquid gold. We have more liquid gold under our feet. Doug, you know that better than anybody. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other nation, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than anybody. And we're going to take advantage of it. So go back home, rest, and then come back, because we're going to turn this whole thing around. If we win the state of Nevada, it's over for them, and our country's going to be better, greater, bigger, more beautiful than ever before. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We love you. God bless you all. God bless you. Thank you.